You can create an entity in Test Data Manager. An entity defines a structure for copying related data to a subset database. In this demo, we create an entity to identify tables in our source data that contain data related to the marketing offer data. We can then use this entity to create a data subset that contains all data related to specific marketing offers. Complete the following prerequisite tasks before you perform the tasks in this demo. Log into Test Data Manager. Create a project flyer_data and add the required data source to the project. Click Projects and open the project flyer_data. Click Define. The Data Subset tab opens on the Define page. Click the New Entity button on the right-hand corner. You can also select the New Entities option from the Actions menu. Enter the name flyer_offer_entity. You can add a description to the entity. An entity consists of a driving table and related tables. A driving table is the starting point for defining relationships between tables in the entity. When you create an entity, you select a table as the driving table. Test Data Manager retrieves all tables related to the driving table based on the constraints in the driving table. In this demo, we identify tables that contain data related to marketing offers by different merchants. Click the Select Table button and then select Merchants as the driving table and click OK. Click Save to create the entity. Test Data Manager adds the related tables to the entity. The entity opens in a new page. Select All in the Entity Map view to view all tables in the entity. Define filter parameters for columns of tables in the entity. The filter parameters define the criteria for the subset of the data. To add the filter criteria, click Actions and then click Edit. The Edit Entity window opens. Click the Entity Criteria tab. Click the Add Criteria button. From the Add Columns window, select the merchant_ID column from the Merchants table and click OK. The criterion is added to the entity. In the Edit Entity window, select the Operator field and select the required operator from the list. In this demo, we create a filter to create a data subset of all merchant information for merchants with IDs greater than or equal to 200,500. Select the greater than or equal to operator and enter the value 200500 in the value field. Click the Save button to save the criteria. Click Save to save the changes to the entity. The output of a data subset operation depends upon the filter criteria that you apply and the type of relationships between the tables. By default, all relationships are major. This might result in the addition of excess information in the data subset. You can optimize the relations such that the entity has a minimum number of major relations to ensure the subset operation fetches minimal data while considering all tables in the entity. Click the Actions menu and then click Optimize Relations. We see that all the relations are major. You can choose to accept the proposed minor relation to optimize the relations. To accept the proposed relations, click Optimize. The changes are saved to the entity. You can now use this entity in a data subset plan. That completes this demo. To summarize, we created an entity with the merchant table as the driving table, added filter criteria to filter required data, and optimized relationships between tables in the entity.